Our next speaker is Kat Hayduk.
Hello. I've submitted a written letter. It's on page 162. But I'd like to highlight a few things that are in that letter. Our family joined Belterra just about 6 months ago, I guess, and we've made the plunge into becoming equity members quite recently. The reason we've become members of Belterra is we sold our home on Bowen a couple of years ago to put more money into our home-based video production business. Our business supports nonprofits, so we basically took a big pay cut to improve our lives and what we're giving back. And Belterra, for us, also helps us put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. Our ideals are vested, basically it allows us to downsize our footprint, upsize our community, all while continuing to live on Bowen Island, which is something we love. Thank you.
We have Elizabeth Ballantyne.
Thank you. I live at 294 Giessen Road, and I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the Affordable Housing Working Group, which was set up by 2 councils ago in 2007. There are 2 statements we would like to make. The first is an expression of support for the Belterra co-housing rezoning. A year ago, at its meeting in April 2011, the Affordable Housing Working Group voted unanimously to support the rezoning application. We met again last week, and at that meeting, the housing group members voted to communicate that support at this public hearing. As a co-housing initiative with a clear commitment to green design and building practices and a significant park dedication, the Belterra project embodies Bowen community values that are at the core of the OCP. At the same time, it will add to the diversity of affordable housing choices by producing housing units that are below market for all purchasers, while the 5 units produced under Bowen's new affordable...
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't hear a thing.
Shall I move up closer?
Well, the one way is to move the him to right of the table.
Enough, Peter, though.
Michael, we'll make sure to get you copies of the notes after the meeting.
No, I understand.
So, Michael, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
You can, okay. So I shan't go over what I said. It was only to express initially, which was to express the support of the Affordable Housing Working Group for the rezoning application. My second statement on behalf of the group is with regard to the recommendation regarding the covenants on the Belterra co-housing non-market units generated under that affordable housing policy. The Affordable Housing Working Group's final report on its work plan, tentatively scheduled to be presented to Council next week, includes the recommendation that Council direct staff to work with Belterra Co-Housing to complete the registration of covenants on the non-market units and on any associated necessary administrative procedures pending completion of the incorporation of the Bowen Island Housing Corporation. We were informed today that it will be necessary to delete this recommendation from our report, along with supportive references to it in the text, due to the fact that the matter is the subject of a public hearing. We were also informed, however, that it would be actually appropriate to present this recommendation to Council at the public hearing. Accordingly, we're respectfully requesting that if the rezoning application is approved, Council direct staff to work with Belterra Co-Housing to expedite the processing of the covenants on the non-market housing units and associated administrative requirements until an alternative municipal approach is developed, such as the Municipal Housing Corporation that is recommended in the Affordable Housing Working Group's report to Council next week. The intention behind this recommendation is to ensure that should the rezoning application be approved, there be no delay in registering the covenants or proceeding with other aspects of the administration of the affordable housing units due to the fact that the Housing Corporation or an equivalent structure is not in place. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ann Persoon.
I'm Ann Persoon. I'm a Belterra equity member, and I wanted to speak not just about what I hope to gain by joining Belterra and living here on Bowen Island. I'm from North Vancouver, sorry, born and raised in the Lower Mainland. But I also wanted to illustrate or emphasize what Bowen Island will be gaining by having the Belterra community. And we're a community that's passionate about living in a respectful and supportive environment, and our meetings are really a good indication that we believe in what we speak of. We also wish to be a village rather than a suburb, and the plans show how we've clustered our housing so that we can look out our kitchen window and wave to our neighbors and say hello in a very easy manner, rather than being spread out on streets far apart from each other. So we really want to be a community that interacts. We have, as Roger so eloquently expressed, we have all manner of members that wish to live in Belterra: gardeners, artists, counselors, small business owners, retirees, young families. And we work through all of our issues through consensus. We respect other people's opinions, and we wish to bring this attitude towards every aspect of our lives on Bowen Island. We want to be a respectful, caring, and generous community who will give back to the larger community. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Gordon Ganong.
Good evening. My name is Gordon Ganong. I live at 673 Cliff Road. I will be brief. I have a little bit of history. In the spring of 2011, the previous council had referred the Belterra project to the Advisory Planning Commission. On May the 13th of last year, the Advisory Planning Commission addressed the project. I was chair of that particular meeting, and I'm pleased to be able to once again say is that the Advisory Planning Commission fully endorsed unanimously the moving ahead of this project. So I think that there is some significance for having some new folks around the table. Is the Advisory Planning Commission is the only one of two mandated committees that the municipality is required to have by senior levels of government. So I certainly hope that you'll be able to keep in mind is that there has been a positive support by the Advisory Planning Commission for this project. Secondly is that I'm also associated with an organization called One Bowen, a community-based organization that in a recent executive meeting also put their support for this project. And I personally do as well. So I wish you well in your deliberations, and I wish that this project can move forward expeditiously.
Our next speaker is Lyne Brindamour.
My name is Lynn, and I live in Vancouver, and I'm a member of the Belterra co-housing. I'm quite excited about eventually being a member of this wonderful, of the Bowen Island community. I want to be very practical as well on these issues, that I want all of us moving to the co-housing project. We also contribute to the economy of the community. We will also encourage all the small business on the island and be part of the, not only of our community, but also of the larger community of Bowen. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Matthew Vander Giessen.
Good evening, Worship Mayor and esteemed councillors. My name is Matthew Vander Giessen. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, although I was born and raised along playing on Mosquito Creek in North Vancouver, and have probably spent far too long in the drylands of Alberta. It's time to come home, and it's in that spirit that I have a few things to say to you here. My wife and Rebecca and myself have driven here from Edmonton in part to participate in this process today. Through our involvement in Belterra development process, we've gained a deeper understanding of the municipality's concerns about development on Bowen Island and the resulting restrictions on development over the last couple of years. It has become clear to us that these are not restrictions primarily driven by a protectionism of the island community against external forces. Rather, we've come to respect the community's need to slow down the development process so that a thoughtful stewardship toward the welfare of island life can have time to identify how future growth can be in accord with the values that have come to define Bowen Island. In our experience, values such as environmental responsibility, interconnectedness, community trust, and safety are notable because on Bowen they appear to be organically integrated into the practice of community life. Such an active commitment to these values is not something to be taken for granted, if only by proximity to the issues facing its neighbours within the Metro Vancouver area. This council and community must have a keen understanding of how challenging it can be to move past talk and to engage in action when faced with the erosion of community values. It is within this larger context that we made our decision to commit to the vision of Belterra co-housing community. It is a decision that has been influenced by the congruence between the values of co-housing and the values of the larger Bowen Island community. In contrast to other co-housing communities, often distinctive within their surrounding communities because of the uniqueness of their practical commitment to community values, as you've heard so many people speak to so eloquently here, the values of Belterra appear to be a variation on a theme that has sustained Bowen Island for generations: relationship, dialogue, caring, and support in all stages of life. Committing to the startup of a co-housing community has a certain amount of risk. Unlike the practice of putting down a deposit on a standard property development, we have been asked to commit life savings to more than a building, but rather to a vision of how community life can be. In our case, it means moving from our neighborhood, our city, our 6 grandchildren, the networks that have sustained us over the years. Our decision to take that risk, committing ourselves to life within the Belterra and Bowen Island communities, has been influenced by the potential we see for an organic connection between the growing vision of Belterra co-housing community and the values of Bowen Island community life. We look forward to a future of living and contributing with our within our interconnected communities. Thank you very much.